I be looking at like Murda Beats' Instagram sometimes, and like he still has all them deep fried pictures with the Migos and shit from like 2012, and like you can just scroll through his whole shit and just see the whole story. And like I feel like that's like so essential to like having any sort of brand as a producer. Is like people got to see where you started, and like 100%. You know.
Look, you live out here?
I do. I've been living out here since like, I moved out here full time in like August of 2023. But I was like coming out here like on the weekends after school and shit. Like my dad used to like drive me up here for like sessions and then like drive me back home on Sunday night. And like I've been coming up here for like years. So
you're from San Diego?
I'm from San Diego.
How far was it a drive for you to come back and forth?
So like it would be like anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours, just depending on like traffic and shit. But
dedication.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the music scene is here
in
today?
San Diego? Or here?
Well, comparatively, how much drastically different?
Bro, like it's I've never like worked with an artist. Well, I've worked with one artist from San Diego, but it's not because he was from San Diego. Like we just like started working normally, but like in terms of like a San Diego music scene, like I don't know of anybody else that's like in the same scene as me that's from San Diego.
Really?
Like I feel like I could probably. Like there's only one. His name's Harrison Bortz.
Yeah.
And he's this artist I've been fucking with recently. But like other than that, like there is no scene, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
There is no like music scene of like, this is the hottest rapper out of San Diego right now. It's just like, you know.
So if you were to think of your hometown and you were like, I'm gonna go back and I want to build up this artist, there's no one you'd even think of.
No, honestly, no. Like, and that wasn't really like. I feel like it's taken me a while to like understand how important like location is, and like how like a lot of artists' biggest focus is like, how do I take over my city first? And, like I never really like got that until recently, because I just never like, that's not the way I came up. Like it was very much so just like, let me come to LA and like play the game just like anyone else, versus like trying to make it out of San Diego, you know?
Yeah.
Does it really matter taking over your city like it used to a long time ago, do you think?
I feel like that's a good question, because even when I was coming up out of the city, it was like a topic. Like they still try to make it a thing, but I feel like as soon as you focus on that, then the bigger picture of shit, you become the local motherfucker. Yeah. And then it's harder to escape that, to get outward. So I think it's better to go outward.
And then just grind
And then they'll just gravitate, whoever gravitates to you. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to be local anyways. It's to go worldwide. So.
It is, San Diego's convenient though, because it's close. So.
It's right there.
It's like right there. And so just like you saying, the scene being kind of low key, is like for you to breach is kind of like, competition is a little bit more fair game, I guess.
Nah,
do you feel that way, or from your journey, you feel like it was a little bit easier to breach?
Yeah, because I didn't really like have anyone to compete with, if that makes sense. Like there was no like I feel like if I grew up somewhere like New York, or like if I grew up out here, it would be like I'd be going to school, and like some kid I would be going to school with would be producing songs and like doing all the same shit I do. But like I was the only kid in my school that made beats, the only kid from my city that like actually is like here really doing this shit. So like I don't know, there's really no one else to like even look at.
That's so interesting, because like it's so close. And I know a lot of our interns for our label came from like Bakersfield, which shocked. They would like drive like 2 hours, 2+ hours a day. But there's like a lot of like a market, and I would think all the way out there. So I would think San Diego would have. I mean, I knew when like 2018 we were working with some artists out of San Diego. There was like the scene. I knew there was, but I don't really keep up with the San Diego scene.
Yeah.
When you were building up your career, did your traction first come placements and then like selling kits, selling loops, or was like
it was kind of the opposite. Like it was very much so like like I was just like making beats in my room just like anyone else. And I think originally like the first I joined like this smaller, it wasn't even like a collective, it was just like me and like 2 Discord homies. And like it was just like we made a little YouTube channel. I posted like 1 video on there, and like I really just started with like tutorials, and like I still had a squeaker voice. Like I was like 14 making videos, just like you know, just you know, making videos. But that was like where I got my start, I guess, is just like making videos. Like I didn't have any placements, like at least for the first like 2 years of like actually being in this shit, I guess. Like I wasn't really working on shit. I was just like making videos and like posting on social media and shit.
When did you first start getting traction on those videos?
Bro, I think from the first one did hella well. Like I think even now it probably has like 30K views or some shit.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like I feel like I skipped a lot of steps when it comes to like doing this shit, because like I never really had to deal with like posting videos and them getting like 10 views. Like it was very much so like I posted my first video and it just went, and like people would hit me up from it and shit. But yeah.
With the experience that you have now, do you go back and look at, like, let's just say your first video, and do you feel like everything you said is still on point, relevant, or with experience you have now, you would look at older videos and go, I would say something differently, or I know more now about this?
I think it was more so just like tutorials, and I was just like, I think a lot of my first videos are just like me making beats and just like just cooking up, and it wasn't so much so like I was trying to tell producers watching like, yo, you should do this, like this is the formula. It was more so just like me just hitting record, making a beat, talking a little bit, and I think I look back on some of those videos, I'm like, this is like the most like rawest version of like any of the shit I've done, because like I was just still figuring it out. Like I didn't really, even like musically, like I had no idea what I was doing, but like that's kind of what made it, you know, like that's kind of what made the vibe.
And the audience gravitates to that, the organicness of it, because it's like you end up oftentimes like when you do that type of shit, you end up actually teaching yourself on the fly.
That's how you learn all the shit. Like
that's
how like I really was just like learning how to make YouTube videos, just like figuring it all out, like fucking up, just like anything else, you know?
That's hard though.
Did you get mostly positive reception on your initial videos?
Well, yes, from people online, and then like I started making videos and like doing the whole shit during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I would be in class like online, and I remember like kids I would go to school with, we were all like on Zoom classes and shit, and like I just remember kids would like cook me for my YouTube videos.
For real?
Like there would be certain times where like, I mean, I feel like we've all been in Zoom meetings with hella people, and it was like some kid, I think a couple times.
In the Zoom meeting would say some shit?
There was one time where like a kid played my video. Like he turned his camera on and like had his phone on, and he just put it up to the screen. It was just like me with this high squeaker voice just being like, what's up guys, I'm Steven, I'm gonna show you how to make a beat today, and the whole class is just like cooking my shit. But
that's kind of hard though.
I mean, other than that, like the reception was amazing. Like it was just nothing but people being like, yo, you're crazy for like being so young, and like
that's good.
Even for somebody to even do that, bro, I'd be like, bet, thank you for the free promo, bro. Like you paying attention to my shit.
I was definitely hella pressed, but you know, it is what it is.
That's dope. That's hard though.
When did you start monetizing?
I think my first way of monetizing was kits.
But when did you decide to feel confident enough to step into it, that you were good enough and that you felt people would buy them?
Bro, I think so. I joined the collective Splitmind in like 2020, and I think just part of being on the team was just like, yo, like we want you to drop kits, and like we have this resource being Drumify, which is, you know, a kit website, and it's only for y'all. So like you're on the team, use it. And like it was never like me waiting for a moment, or like me waiting for like, oh, I feel like my shit's fire enough to like finally start dropping kits. It was just kind of like anything else. Like I dropped my first kit, and like it sold like maybe twice, and like I didn't really think that like I never really saw it as like, oh, this is like how I'm gonna make money, but it's just like, okay, this is like the resource I have. I'm gonna just use it for now and just like see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I started really monetizing, maybe like 2022, I would say. It's like when I first started like making
recent
actual, exactly. So.
And how did the first kit perform?
First kit did like ass. I remember because I had, obviously there's other producers on the team, and a lot of them were more established. Like all of them were more established than me, because, you know, I just joined and shit. And like, I remember one of my homies, he was like showing me one of his checks from Drumify, and it was like $3,000 or something for the month.
What the fuck?
And I was just like, yo, this is crazy, whatever. But it put in my head that I'm gonna drop my kit and it's gonna sell $3,000.
Yeah.
And I just remember like checking my PayPal at the end of the month, and it was like $28 or something. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
nah, it was
How are you marketing it?
just YouTube videos and like Instagram. Honestly, YouTube videos, Instagram, Twitter. I was definitely way more active on Twitter back then for sure. But yeah, that was just like using all the same tools, I guess.
Would you say your first kit was worst performing? It did $28 the first.
It wasn't like bad performing because
it's your
for what
first
I
one.
probably had like a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
hundred followers, but then like it was definitely a slow grind. Like it went from probably there to like a couple $100 a month, and then like I probably had my first month making like $1,000, maybe like end of 2022, beginning of 2023.
Yeah.
And then from there it's kind of just been an upward spiral. But
Did you see people like the kit that you dropped in and didn't do too well, but then you started growing? Did you see people going back to your older kits and then going and getting them?
That's also like a big thing. Like, it's nice that I have all this. It's almost like it's like have my own discography of kits, because like whenever something cool happens now, like
People go back and
like I'll check my email. It's all good.
How about that?
It's all good. I'll like check my email after like a song comes out, and it'll be like kids buying my kits from like 2-3 years ago, and
That's
it's
hard.
like digging
Yeah.
shit. So
Because you was even saying with the videos, like people going back even through the old videos and
For
seeing
sure.
people love that shit, bro.
because people
love that.
want a story. Like
Exactly.
I'd be looking at like Murda Beats' Instagram sometimes, and
Yeah.
like he still has all them deep fried pictures with the Migos and shit from like 2012, and like you can just scroll through his whole shit and just see the whole story. And like I feel like that's like so essential to like having any sort of brand as a producer. Is like people got to see where you started,
Yeah,
and like
100%.
do you think, not even just producers, it's even crazier to me, but like when artists try to do the mysterious mode too early, but do you see producers doing that, like acting like the artist, like ultra mysterious mode with absolutely nothing going on to be mysterious about?
I do. But at the end of the day, like not everyone's meant to be like in front of a camera, and like there are some producers where it does make more sense for you to just not be doing the whole internet shit. And so like I get it, but like I definitely see it a lot where like I don't know, people do shit in their own way all the time. I feel like I don't know.
You can see at times where it feels forced, where there's like a gimmick. That's dope though that you was on it so early.
Yeah.
To where like before it was like now everybody's just doing it for the satire of trying to make money off of it.
Yeah.
But when you did it the way you did it early on, it's like naturally being in front of the camera. Now it just flows. It's like not
It's
even
just
trying.
easier. And like I was definitely still like nervous and shit all the time, and like you just being on camera, like you only get good doing it more. So like that was kind of just part of it, I guess.
All right.
Speaking of brand and brand for producer, you just got your Apple Music producer list. When what do you feel like that does for a producer's career?
Like getting a playlist like that.
When you see everyone they drop there, it's like I got it. Like
Yeah.
what do you think that does for a producer?
I mean, I think it's just like another form of like validation, like you're really doing this shit. I don't really see it as like anything crazy, because at the end of the day, like we could all go get a playlist like that, but I feel like it's just like like it's a certification, like like you're really doing this shit, like these are like the records that you have to your name. But this I never wanted to do one until now, because like I just feel like I hadn't really done shit. I still feel like
It's early, but
it's still hella early, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's cool to just have it. But yeah,
has anyone reached out that you post that's like memorable, that like you're like, oh shit, this person said like congrats, or anything that's special that's come off of that list?
honestly,
you
bro,
posted?
I posted it today.
Yeah.
And I fell right back asleep after, and I haven't really checked my phone since.
Can we
Oh
check?
shit, we gotta see it live, bro.
We gotta what for like someone to DM me or something?
Yeah, like that validation that we're
That
talking about.
like that one. It may be a producer, maybe a creative, just somebody that's like, yo.
Or it's gonna be 100 producers going, where do I send my loops? What's your loop?
Bro, that's
number?
all it is. Like, I don't really think there's gonna be anything crazy. Like, it's just gonna, it's just mad. Like some kid said, "That's my motherfucking goat. I'm fucking proud of you." Like, it's just people.
That's
It's just shit like
hard,
that.
bro.
I'm not getting like Drake ain't in my DMs.
Yeah.
Soon.
Tap in.
Soon, tap in.
How does it feel growing over years, getting people that like want to start to work with you? Do you remember the first time you started seeing people reaching out to legit wanting to collab
For
with you?
sure. It was definitely like, I mean, I think it was always like with YouTube, and like I think the first big producer that hit me up was Jay Graham, and I was like just posting YouTube videos like the same shit, and he just hit me on Twitter, and he was just like, "Yo, you're fire," or whatever, and he was like my first like LA session, I guess, and
that's cool.
I just like went over to his crib and like we cooked up, and yeah, that was like my first time like I guess people wanting to work and shit, but yeah.
Was that after just like loops and sound kits, or was it after placements?
It was definitely before placements. I didn't have any sort of placements.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, yeah, it was just off the
That's
shit.
cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
When did placements start coming in?
Placements started. I want to say placements maybe started like 2023.
Damn, bro, this is like you
Yeah, it's-
fresh in, bro.
Yeah,
Like
and you've done
you
some
hit the
dope
ground
shit.
running like a
Yeah.
motherfucker. Damn, who was your first one?
My first placement that I like remember posting was it was a Jay Critch song, and I and I
Wow.
produced it with Ronnie J.
Word.
Like, it was just like, I mean, like obviously, you know, it's not the biggest place in the world, but like at the time I was
Yeah.
like 14, 15.
Yeah,
just
that's
like
cool.
I was sending
Hey,
Ronnie J
yeah,
loops.
that's
Like
hard.
that was like my first placement, but yeah.
That's fire, bro.
Did a majority of your placements come? Were you getting placements before you're joining the coalition with Splitmind, or did most of them come after?
Definitely after. I didn't have like, I think when I joined Splitmind, I didn't have any sort of like connects or like, I feel like it's a very different game now where like you almost have to have your own shit. You do have to have your own shit going before
Right.
anyone would even want to like take a chance on you. And I don't know, I guess, you know, Half just saw it in the very, very, very early stages because like I had no placements. I had maybe like like 2 producer connections and like that was it. And I was just posting YouTube videos and like there was no thought of like me sending to like big ass producers at that
Yeah.
time, and like, you know, it was very much so like I joined the team with nothing, and like everything since then has just been like, you know, while I've been on the team and shit. So
That's fire, bro.
What do you think is more important in the long run for a producer, having alternate sources of income? Like, 'cause I think most producers, their dream is placements and then just surviving entirely off of that.
yeah.
Right.
But kits can be long term. Kits can be, you know, I think it's
Yeah,
like finding that balance and not wanting to look like you're
Yeah.
just, you know, selling a bunch of kits all the time. But which is more important to you long term? Having come from starting in kits.
No, it's a good one. I think, bro, like without kits, like I would not have been able to do anything. Like I wouldn't have been able to move out here.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have been able, like I've made more money off of kits than I have off placements, if I'm being real. Like,
All right.
like placements, trying to make this shit work with just placements is like really, really hard. And I feel like people always think it'll go like simpler than it does, but like
Right.
you'll think that you're like on top of the world and you have like 5 songs in the vault all about to drop, and then like 6 months will go by and none of them drop.
Yeah,
and
right.
like all your bills are still there, all the same shit. Versus kits, I feel like I don't think one is more important than the other, but I think it's definitely been something where like kits have saved. Like I've literally dropped a kit and like made bread that day that like helped me just, you know, stay afloat. You
That's
know,
fire.
over
Which is the
years.
skill that a producer has, that like artists can go do like a social media post or something, or sell a feature, and that's
Yeah.
Exactly.
like what
Like
And
that's
be
our way of
quick.
like me selling a kit is like my version of like an artist going to Poppy and just like performing a couple songs, getting 10 bands and leaving.
And
You
leaving
know, like,
that ass.
you know, like
That
that's
ass.
just that's the producer's way of doing it. So
Because a lot of people nowadays are leaning into beat stars heavy. I've been seeing that a
Yeah.
lot going on. You feel me? Do you dabble in that? Outside
did-
of
I
kids, that
did.
would be like a little side little thing.
I did for like maybe 2 weeks.
You was like, I'm done with this.
Cause I'm not that type of producer. Like I can't make the same beat over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like it, and just like consistently posting every day was just
My
like, it just
dude.
wasn't really a thing that I was just
Yeah.
like passionate about, and I just knew it wasn't gonna work. So like
Yeah,
I was kind of just like, I'm gonna just do my own shit.
that's fire.
with your stuff, with your drum kits. Do you feel like with a lot of people having access to and now using your drums, that you feel like a lot of people could be biting your sound?
Yes, but like my sound is me biting other people's sounds. Like I do the same shit.
Okay.
You know, like I bite.
At least he real.
Like my sound is
hard.
is a combination of so many people's sounds, and like if I see somebody using, like I hear songs all the time, and like I'll hit the producer and be like, I know where you got these sounds from, and it'll just be like a funny thing.
Yeah.
And I'll just I never really take it as like a bad thing, because it's just like, what would I rather it be like? No one used the kit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I want people to use the kit and like make fire songs with it, and like, you know, like that's kind of like the whole point. And like I do the same shit. Like I steal shit, not steal shit, but like
you gain influence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so like
influence.
I can never be mad at it. So
I was gonna say you could even double up on that shit and start taking, because technically placements off of them shits. If they using your shit, you can be doubling up on that.
Exactly. I've gotten so many placements off just like putting a kid on Drumify, and then like 6 months later you get a random email like, yo, whatever, like this is like I produced a song on Glorilla's album last year.
Yeah.
And it was literally this shout out my boy Hennessy, but he literally took a sample from one of my kits and a drum loop from one of my kits, and they were two separate things, and just put them on top of each other, and that was the song.
Damn.
And I had nothing to do with like getting the beat to glow. Like I had nothing to do with that whole process. It was literally just me putting a kit out, and it turns into something like that.
Wow, bro, that might be a new avenue. Shout out to the producer community for that. That might be
producers do end up coming up a lot.
That's fire,
because they end up still having to clear it even though it's in a kit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see things even though they say they're royalty free, they're like, no, we're just gonna clear this. So you post a lot of reels of you making beats. Do you feel like this is something? I think a lot. We just talked about a little bit about this earlier, but this like finding the balance and like, or the fear of overexposing yourself and over posting. Is that? Do you think we're in a world where posting even like there's even a rule anymore for this?
No, like there is no such thing as like over posting or like overexposing, because like no one gives a fuck that much. Like no producer is important enough to be like whatever people think in their head, like, oh, so-and-so is going to think this is corny. Like, that doesn't exist. Like, I think a good example of this is I have a good friend of mine, Juice, who's like, I don't know if y'all know him, but he's like a crazy crack guitar player. And like, he'll every couple months, he'll just pop up with like a streak of just viral videos. And I'll call him and I'll be like, yo, like, I swear these look familiar. And he'll be like, bro, I've posted the same reel like 3 times. And like, that's honestly the smartest way to go about it, is just flooding the market. Because, bro, like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, you post a bunch of reels and like everyone just scrolls by them and like doesn't like fuck with, like, just keep posting. Matter. It doesn't matter. Like, no one's that, you know.
Well, now, what about someone who's been around for, I don't know, 10 plus years that's never been known to do that? Do you think that it wouldn't make sense for someone who's established that suddenly comes out of the woodworks posting a ton of content?
Nah, I think it's fire. I saw the other day, like, Wonder Girl posted a video, like a reel of like an FLP, or like she posted a couple like screen recordings of a Wonder Girl beat, and I'm just like, yo, this is fire. Like Wonder Girl doesn't need to do it. If anything, it's more fire when a producer's already established, and they start doing that, because it's just like, we all know you don't need to do this, but you're just choosing to do it because you just fuck with, your fans and shit. And it's just like, I don't know, it's something
like
cool.
Insight.
Yeah.
People like to see the process more than we even realize.
Yeah. But nah, I think it doesn't matter. Like if Cardo were to post a reel today of like him making a beat, I'd be like, oh, this is fire.
Nah,
like,
for real.
There is no like, I don't know, there's no like standard of like, once you hit a certain level, you don't have to do this shit, like you don't have to do the social media shit.
I guess the good thing now is coming into it now, yeah, you're right, there's no rules. You don't even have to think or worry about what other people think unless you're trying to play mysterious, which...
For a crowd you don't have.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
This generation be trying to be that Rey Mysterio and don't got nothing to be mysterious for.
Yeah.
That shit is corny.
How could producers take more advantage of social media? Particularly Instagram, because there's always there's new tools that are always coming out, and I see I manage a bunch of pages, so I'll see some pages getting tools before another page. It's just such a cool thing of having different pages. I'm like, why is this page getting this thing that this page doesn't have yet? Yeah.
You saying like, what is it that producers don't use?
What tools could producers use on social media? I guess particularly Instagram or YouTube that some of them don't know about that would benefit exposing themselves more.
I think Okay, well, I think a fire one that people should do is like, it's technically not a tool on Instagram. It's like a third party, but it's this website called ManyChat, and like I've definitely used it to. It's an easy way to like increase your engagement, because like all it is you basically set up a funnel to where before I'll post a reel or something, I'll think of like a caption in my head like, okay, like comment whatever if you want these drums for free. And then I'll just upload, I'll go back into the beat, bounce out the drums, and then just like upload it to a Dropbox folder or whatever. And then I'll set it up. It's like a command where you can set it up where anytime someone comments like a selected phrase, they can immediately be sent the kit or whatever it is for free. And so like I've used that a lot to just get kids to comment, honestly, like to just bump up your shit. Like if the difference between like posting something and then posting something with like to give people an incentive to comment, like, yo, if you comment this right now, you'll get these drums for free right now. It's crazy. Like you get like double the engagement, your post goes way crazier. Like it's a good tool to use.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's dope.
So, you've worked on some collab tapes, Kyle, and you released some of your own DSP stuff. I really love when producers do this because we just talked about how hard it is to, one, get placements, then get paid by them. We've talked about this on the podcast a lot about producers building with artists and dropping their own projects. When did you first decide to do that? And was it more about, oh, I just would like to do this? Or did you think like, yeah, this will be financially more sensible to have control over the project and just drop it myself?
Like, I feel like anything that I've dropped under my own name hasn't really been for like financial reasons. Like I've never really made, if I'm being real, like I've never really made crazy bread off like the shit I've dropped on my own. I feel like I just did it because like so much of being a producer is like waiting on things to happen, whether it's like waiting for a song to come out or waiting to get in contact with this person to try to get into this room or like waiting to get paid. And like there's so much waiting, and like I feel like, I don't know, it's like exhilarating to just like drop your own project and just be like, fuck it, like who cares? Like I can just drop whatever I want whenever I want. Like you don't have to wait on nobody else. Especially if you already, it kind of helps if you already have like a fan base or like people that you know pay attention to you. But yeah, that was really it. I think I really started, you know, dropping beats and just kind of like dropping shit on my own, probably in just like times where like I feel like it's inevitable. Like you go a couple months without a song coming out and you kind of just want to like spark it back up again and like, you know, kind of just like it's another thing to do. It's another avenue to do. I wouldn't like rule it out for nobody, you know. So yeah.
And it's fire too because it's part of the branding. It just adds to your branding as a creative already. So it just makes people even more bought in. Like, damn, you feel me?
And potential
like Metro
catalog, like you said. About
exactly. And like, just because I haven't, you know, just because it hasn't really been financially like all that yet. Like I know people that drop their own music as like producers and like you can get crazy like I know homies that have gotten like crazy deals off that shit and like it can definitely, it's a whole nother avenue, it's a whole nother world that like I feel like everyone should at least try to explore, you know. But you know?
Do you have records in the vault that you think that an artist like, okay, well, I'll release like if you could put together?
For sure. I have so many songs that like at this point I think this year I started to do like swaps and like it's been a thing where like if an artist can't afford certain things or like, you know, can't meet on certain in certain areas, it'll just be like, yo, just toss me a song that we've already done that you don't want to put out. And like, yeah, there's definitely like a gang of songs that I'm just waiting for the right moment, I guess, to put out. But
would that be, and if you did that, would that be like actually like a mixed project of like a bunch of different artists like dropped under your name?
It would be. I think it would just be like, at least for my first one, it would be a more mixtape. Like it wouldn't be like yo, this is my debut album or whatever. Like, it would just be like, yo, I think these are just some songs I fuck with that never saw the light of day that like, you know, it'd just be more so that vibe.
Yeah. You gotta start calling it the swap tapes.
Swap tapes is hard. That would be tough as fuck.
Swap tapes be hard.
I love seeing producers do that because, yeah, it happens so often that an artist can't or won't pay. and a swap, getting the swaps is a way for producers to build their brand, which I think is important. I mean,
exactly,
you have to be able to.
Right, 100%.
And I feel like there's just so many there's so many songs. We all make so much music, and it's just like, why wouldn't you put out all the shit? Like, you could work on an album for 2 years and it's 13 songs, and it's just like, we have so many other songs. Like, why wouldn't we just put it out at some point, even if it's not going to be like, you know, have the potential. If it has the potential to be a big song, you should put it out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, you shouldn't just sit on music waiting for like which I guess is kind of what I'm doing. Like, I'm just sitting on it waiting for the right moment. But like, yeah, I feel like people should just be less picky with their music and just be ready to just like give a song to a producer. And it just shows that there's like a deeper connection there, because I feel like on the low, like, artists don't love every producer that they work with. Mm-hmm. And so like, if I see a producer drop a song that has an artist on it, immediately what comes to mind is like, oh, they're locked in. Like, this is like a good working relationship. Like, they're really tight, like even possibly beyond the music, which I think is fire. And I feel like that's why, you know, more producers should do it and shit.
Yeah, that's hard.
Ironically, it's not always that way, because I have a lot of records that they ended up, which we're going to be putting out soon, that they're swaps just out of like, I've been currently in a battle for some of my producers.
Some
where
of them
like,
will swap and they won't clear the shit still.
Yeah. Well, or they'll swap and not tell their label.
Yeah.
But we have some swaps that are like reluctant swaps. Like, oh, fuck, fine. Bro,
yeah.
take it. But then the important thing though, I feel like for a producer is, which I put in my deal, so if you're not going to pay and you're going to have a swap, we need a post too. Like collab post, because like some of these fans might be more collab post, co-primary, absolutely necessary if it's going to be a swap or no payment.
For sure.
What's the favorite session you've had so far?
Damn. Some of my favorite sessions I probably can't talk about, but I think one of my most enjoyable experiences working on music was I was working with DC the Don on his album, and he had gone. We did like 2 camps. Yeah. And he had gone Airbnbs, and I think the first one was in Big Bear. And
bro, why is everyone taking my ideas?
Yeah, that's all right.
What? Nah, I was doing camps and I was trying to get the whole team together to do these like nobody would want to leave. Nah, I'm staying in the studio in LA, and I'm like, bro, let's go into the mountains and do some shit in the snow. Like, I was trying to get groups of writers and producers. No one wanted to go.
It's an amazing vibe.
It's such a vibe. I've done a few in Big Bear, and they're amazing.
We did one in Big Bear, and then we did the last one to kind of like wrap up the whole album in I think in like Joshua Tree or like somewhere in the desert. Yeah. And it was so fire, especially because like hard. You know, when you work with people in the studio and you just pull up to a session, it can be kind of hard to like break the ice a little bit and like kind of like get past that first like kind of
the studio is like a forced feeling.
Exactly. Versus like 100%. You know, when you do something like that, like you're in the car with them for 6 hours on the way there, y'all are just you can't even work on music, so you're just getting to know the people, and then by the time you get there, you're just so hyped to be in this fire ass Airbnb that you just want to like immediately, like, I think every time we did it, we just set up the speakers that night and started recording that night, because it was just like such an exciting thing. Like, yo, we're in this fucking new spot.
See, Jacob's knocking me. I told Jacob I'm about to buy this mountain. He's like, why do you want to buy a mountain? I'm like, because it'd be a dope spot to pick up on our own mountain. I'm out driving looking for a mountain. I'm about to buy a mountain.
So, I mean, I guess technically, yeah, but I don't really think a lot of the footage came out. But I think from that, I kind of learned that, like, yo, I like cooking up in places other than the studio. And so, like,
okay, so that explains the post that I saw the truck post, and it reminded me because I once brought Big Head out on I did the same thing. We brought a truck, speakers, and we cooked literally on the side of a highway, like on an on-ramp, like in between an on-ramp.
That's
like where there was like a bunch of junk and random ass shit everywhere, and we just set up a studio in this fucking super weird ass location.
It's so fire. And like, that's honestly been like my last, I don't know, like the last month I've done it like 3 times, where like, shout out my boy Aiden, because he's a soldier and he'll come with me and film the whole thing. But like, we'll run down to LAX, get a truck from Enterprise or something for the day, and then fucking drive it. I'll pick out a spot like the night before.
Yeah.
And then we'll just set up at like some fire spot, and then honestly, I'll just cook up for like a couple hours. I won't even have to like talk to the camera or nothing, because that's really not what the video's about. But then you just kind of like, I don't know, it's always just an excuse. Like, I would want to do this anyway, regardless of whether or not I was making it for a video. So like, the other day we went to like, it's this spot called Red Rock Canyon, and like we got there at probably 1 a.m.
That's near Tahunga, right?
Yeah. Got there at like 1 a.m. I was there until like 7 a.m, just like cooking up, and just like,
it's so nice there.
Such a good vibe. So
okay, now we got to do some sessions like those, because I have the spots, bro. I have some crazy spots. I did like, I'm glad hearing you do that, because like I feel like producers should do that more, is find their space. We did a whole road trip studio session, and like I ripped out the back seats of a van, and I used sandbags to hold like producer tables down, and I literally like, it was just like an enterprise cargo van. Yeah. And then like I ran cabling to the battery to put power in the back so that Big A could cook up like the whole way, and it was the most ridiculous fucking
fire
session
fire, bro.
ever that we ever did.
That was also a big stress whenever I shoot these videos, is like getting the truck, there's always some shit. And like I think the last time I did it, like we got to LAX probably like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and like the first truck, the rental, like whatever shit, it just fell through. Like they had some waiver that I couldn't sign because like I wasn't old enough. And then we had to like wait in line for like a couple hours. And then by the time they were like, yeah, like you can have the truck for the day, like you just go pick one out. And you're just looking for one that has like an outlet. Because if you don't have an outlet, you're cooked.
Yeah, cooked.
And so like I was just going through all the trucks in the thing, and just like, it was just the whole thing.
The cheat code, bro. You just go to O'Reilly Auto Parts or AutoZone, and you get an inverter. And they're like, basically, they're like just like jumper cables. You just connect them to the car, especially if you're going to be parked. Yeah. You just run into the car battery. Then you'll get those outlets in the vehicles only give you a certain amount of power.
It's not great.
It's not. But if you run to the battery and keep the car running, and then you get a good transformer, you could power some.
I didn't know that.
Shit.
Yeah, because there's been times where like I'll plug. I think one video I plugged in I'll bring like a Moog 1, and I'll just put it on the side of the truck while I cook up, and like. Definitely some shit was going on with the outlet, because like I would press a note and it'd just be hella noisy, and like
it's like 20 volts. It's super. It's meant, if you look, because I have one in my Jeep, and because I wanted to use my Jeep to do a studio setup, and then I found out I couldn't. Like, I mean, it's barely enough to run like a laptop. It's not meant for like that much.
Exactly,
that much
especially because I'll be bringing like the splitter and the whole nine. So
well, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
All right, I want to jump into the Grammy stuff, because talking to you about how you've been in the industry basically for what, like 3 years?
I think like actually being in this shit, 3 years.
So you've gotten a Grammy. When did you get your Grammy? What year?
Last year.
So in 2 years you got a Grammy.
Damn, bro.
Which I mean, like,
you hit the ground running like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I think I definitely skipped a lot of steps, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been like the origin story of this whole shit, like from the YouTube shit to like you were predestined for this shit.
I think definitely like joining a team and like having a foundation from the jump definitely like helped me skip all the steps of like I was coming to LA to do sessions in the beginning, but it was never like me. Like I have homies that'll just tell me stories about like going to studios and just waiting to play beats, and like I never had no experience like that, just because that wasn't how I like came up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I went to the Grammys last year. I think I got nominated like the year before, and then we went to the ceremony the last year. So
but did you have a nomination one year and a win the
so I won. It was like they announced the nominations like 5 months.
Okay. So it wasn't.
It was the same year.
Same year. Okay.
But yeah, I think the nominations was like November 2023, and then the actual ceremony was like February of 2024. So yeah.
You say getting with the team helped build this foundation. Some producers on their too high, too cool, or I'm not going to sign with the team, I'm going to do this myself. Did you feel any reluctancy when making a decision to sign with the team, or did you feel very confident when you decided?
Nah, there was no, because my thing is I was already a fan of Splitmind, and like I was already a fan of like all the guys on there, and like I think when I was first like just a kid in my room just watching producers on YouTube, they were like the first ones, and like I think it just made sense from the get-go. Like there wasn't any sort of like, oh, let me try to like weigh out my options, because there were really no other options.
Right.
Like this, or like you can just keep doing what you've been doing. And I was just like, might as well, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You brought your mom to the Grammys?
I did.
Fire, bro.
Yeah.
I know she was just like, did she cry? You had your moment. Did you have a moment? Did you have a moment?
There's like an interesting story. So when, cause you have to like, it's a whole process, even when you're nominated to get tickets to go to the Grammys, like it's a whole nother like ball game of like, you know, you got to whip out, like I had to have like, you know, a friend of a friend reach out just to like try to like get me in the door and shit. And then they sent us like, yo, like you can have like 4 tickets. And I knew I was going to go with half. So that's 1 ticket. And then like, I didn't know what the deal was with the other 2 tickets. So like I told both my parents that they were coming. And then half called me. He's like, yo, like you can only bring one of your parents. Like you just have to choose one. And my mom was already so hyped. Like I have a screenshot on my phone of like me being on FaceTime with my parents, like, yo, we got the tickets to go to Grammys, like we're lit. And my mom was just like so hyped. Cause like, you know, obviously like it's a fire moment just to see your kid do that. But yeah, it was definitely like, I think the most exciting part of it all for her was like getting ready to go and like, you know, getting all dressed up and like going in the car and like getting dropped off and like seeing all these people. Like I think it was cool for her because I would be walking, when we got to the ceremony, I'd be like walking through and like, you know, you run into people and like people recognize, like you just see mad people that you know. So I'm like walking through the halls, like dapping everyone, and she's just like watching me do all this shit. And it was definitely a good moment.
Yo,
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Did your mom always support you in your desire to do music?
For sure. Both
She
my
did?
parents did. Both my parents were definitely like super supportive, and like I think even just from thinking back to like being hella young and like playing sports, and like they would just always be like driving me places and doing the whole 9. I think the only hesitance that they had was like the first time I went to LA, me and my dad, we were driving down, and I was just like, I was 14, and I was just like, I don't really think I'm gonna go to college. Like, I think this is really just what I want to do. And he was just not having it at all. He was just like, yeah, nah, like that's not gonna fly. And so for the longest, I think from like 14 to 16 or 17, they were super supportive, and like, you know, they would make sure that like whatever I needed, I got. But like, they were just like, yo, like you're still going to college. Like this isn't gonna be like your whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think a few things happened that kind of just slowly but surely kind of just convinced them like he'll be okay if, you know, this is his career and shit. But yeah, nah, they were definitely always super supportive though. Like even I just remember like making my first beats, and like I would bring them down and like into my parents' room and just like show them like, yo, like I just made this beat, and my mom would be like, oh, this is cool. Whatever.
Yeah, that's fire, bro.
Yeah.
From that to a Grammy is nuts.
Yeah, bro.
That shit is viral. That's hard.
We've been talking about speaking of you having like the parental support, we've been thinking about bringing producers' parents onto the podcast, like not even with their, not with their kids, just like the parents,
Just the parent.
and just be like, yo,
yeah,
so
the
like,
experience.
what was it like having to have a kid that like is like, nah, this is what I'm doing, like I'm making beats, like I'm gonna survive off of this somehow, like just let the parents like talk about what it was like having to deal with that, and then watching them grow. Where
Parent spotlight, parent spotlight.
That's a crazy vibe, because if I was a parent and my kid was like, yeah, I just want to like make beats and shit, I'd just be like, I'd have the same reaction.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be funny as hell though. Yeah, that'd be a good vibe.
So in the producer community, what are some things you'd like to see change? There's probably so many, but like what's one thing that you think you'd like to see in the community?
Honestly, like one thing that I do want to see change in the producer community is I feel like we gotta go back to like gatekeeping more, and like I think certain things, I saw Tyler say this the other day, and so I'm kind of like going off what he said a little bit, but certain things are just not meant for everyone. And like I feel like a lot of times like we'll see an artist blow up, and then like everyone will just flock and just try to like get in the door. However, like they're not even really listening to the music, but they're more so just like, oh, seeing this person is going up and this person's hot. And I feel like more things need to just be like tight knit, and like that's kind of what makes it cool and adds to the story, because like if an artist already has something that's going and like they work with, you know, a handful of producers and that's already working, I don't really all the time enjoy to just see a bunch of new faces. Like I really think it's more fire when like an artist or just producers in general like have their own small little cliques and like have their own squads that, you know, don't fuck with they don't want to work with everyone, you know?
Yeah, that is cool.
That's hard.
Do you think, does that contradict, so you putting out loops packs tons of content, does it contradict that concept though at all?
No, because you can do all that and then still work with your select few people.
Right.
And like, no matter where your loops go, no matter where like the sounds for my kits go, like for example, like that Glorilla song, like that's not like me trying to work with Glow. Like that's not what it is. It's just like you're putting out sounds. They're gonna find homes on their own. But like in your day-to-day life, I feel like producers in general just shouldn't be like trying to work with everyone and trying to do everything. Like you should just, you should just try to figure out what you're most excited about and really just lock in on that, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was funny, and then also I get to hear Big Head vent about the producer community and producers all the time. So this one was funny. We posted this piece about you where you said there's probably 10 things that are more productive to do as a producer than just make beats.
Yeah. Yo, this one's so funny because like I've had a couple homies of mine just send me screenshots of like people, when y'all posted this, like there were so many producers that like put on their close friends like, the fuck is this kid talking about? Like so much crazy shit. But honestly, like I feel like there's so many things, like making beats as a producer is the bare minimum. That's we all do this shit. Like we all make beats. We all, you know, like we all send beats to people. Like there are so many other things in my eyes that you can do that's more productive, whether that's making videos, posting kits, traveling, like learning an instrument, learning how to engineer. There's so many like more productive things that you can do to improve like your skill set as a producer and like actually, you know, try to further your career than just like making beats over and over and over again. You know, like there's such a small amount of people that can just, you know, connect with like how do I word this? There's like such a small percentage of producers that can cut through all the way with just beats, just off beats. And like there's so many other things that I feel like, you know, you have to kind of do nowadays to be able to get in the door.
Unless you're carrying an incredible amount of talent on your shoulders. Like, just making beats can't.
But even then.
And even
there's talented people everywhere, you know?
Exactly.
Yep.
It's like the amount of shit, the palette, and I feel like it would up the quality as well. Just actually taking the time to actually give a fuck enough to really take the time to learn the nuances outside of just the creation of the beat, but the actual details that
all
go
that
into
shit.
doing
and
it.
Like
branding as well.
Branding, like being able to like make a song.
Right.
Like that, like I feel like I listened to this Bieber album and like I saw Carter Lane did the whole thing and like it's kind of just like I feel like someone like Carter Lane, like in a position like that, like you don't really get to that skill set just making beats over and over and over again. Like I feel like people in those worlds, like they'll go a month without making beats and they'll just be only focused on like learning piano or like, you know, playing a certain instrument or doing this one thing, and then they just kind of go from thing to thing until, you know, 6 months go by and you have 3 different skill sets that you just learned that can be valuable and get you into different rooms and shit, you know?
Right.
So.
Agreed. Something unique you do, speaking of doing things more productive, I don't know if this has to do with being productive or just your unique approach, but like you start with drums first, right?
Sometimes. I feel like that was definitely a thing that I was doing a lot more of like last year, but definitely I think I just kind of switch it up sometimes. Like I'll go drums first for like a week.
What's the reason when you're doing that?
It's just like, I think when you build a beat off of a loop or an idea or a melody or something, if you're starting with something, it can be easy to like hear something and be like, okay, the drums have to be in this world. Yeah. Like if I hear a certain type of piano, I'll be like, okay, this has to be like some R&B. Like it's easy to categorize shit versus when you start with drums, it's just so easy to like just make some drums you actually like. And then you can kind of just, it's almost like a puzzle. Like, you know, it can be cool to have these types of drums, but with this completely different type of sample, or, you know, start with drums and then like you flips. Like, it's a more creative way to do it versus
Would you say people are would be more lazy with their drums if they have the melody first?
They do, because you know, you hear a loop and you already kind of know what you want to do. Versus you start with drums, you're starting from silence. Like you literally have to build everything from the ground up, and like you can really just focus on making the drums. Like I always in my head be thinking like, how do I make classic drums? Like listen, like Late Registration, like all those drums like can be so recognizable. Like you listen to Runaway, like I can hear the drums from Runaway anywhere. You know, like how do I make drums like that? I feel like it's just easier to do that when I don't have some sort of melody going on. And
That makes sense. And that's smart, and that definitely makes you more creative.
Yeah, it does, 100%. And the build out is crazier.
It's easier to bounce out the drums. So like I'll do that, and then I'll bounce the drums out as just drum loops, and I'll just send those out. And that's just another way for me to, you know, be able to like get songs. And like I think one of the songs I did on this last Eam Triplin album was just like I just sent him the drum loop, and it's like a 4-bar, like 3-second thing.
Yeah,
that they can just work with. You know, it's just an easier way to collaborate with people. You know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's fire.
Nah, that's those nuances that he's talking about, bro.
No,
where it's
smart.
like there's 100 different ways to get a placement, bro.
I'm gonna actually be telling my team to start.
Pretty
to
genius,
do that.
bro.
Yeah. I wanna, if you wanna, because I got my last question, so I don't know if you have anything that you, before I get to my final.
I was gonna say, just out of curiosity, in your catalog right now, what's your favorite song that you've done, that you worked on? Do you have a favorite?
My favorite song that I've worked on, man, I really love this Dirk and Janae Aiko song I did this year, just because like it's my first time having a song that I could like. I mean, it's not really my first time, but it's like one of my first songs I can like play in front of my family and be like, yo, this is
He's like,
yeah,
green,
exactly, like
for real.
Definitely one of those. Or like I did this song with Anuel. I don't know if y'all know who Anuel is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, that was like another definitely like first moment of like being able to like show. My mom is from El Salvador, so like she speaks Spanish, and like for me to work on a big ass, you know, Hispanic artist was definitely like,
that's so cool.
That's amazing, bro.
I have really good memories attached to a lot of that music. So yeah.
I actually have I have my wrap up one, but one question, and hopefully you can answer. But I know you can't, or you don't, you know, can't say something that specifically coming out. But is there a really big artist that you know you have one with that you are pretty confident is going to come out?
I don't really like to like jinx shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say it, but it's just like I don't really like to put it out there and just like, because I feel like my thing is like whenever I work with someone, or like whenever I have like something crazy happen, or like I catch a crazy one, like
It just happens.
it just happens, and I don't like to walk around with like
Thinking like, oh, this is coming, because then
because then it's just like I like to just work on shit and forget about it.
Right, just let it go to the
And like, and I have so many friends, and like, you'll just hear about like, oh yeah, like I have 3 on Drake's album, and then you got to just walk around.
Talking about placements that aren't real placements.
Yeah, for real.
Actually, yeah.
And you just got to walk around with this pressure of like, what if the song just doesn't come out, and now I'm looking crazy
because
like,
you announced it and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
you set yourself
honestly,
up. That's the worst.
Honestly, I just rather just wait.
Or have my guys, I mean, that like they work with a bunch of artists, like, yo, I'm about to be good this year, and I'm like, don't think that way. Like, that's not the way to think.
You gotta just, until it's out, like the shit don't matter.
It doesn't exist.
I got one more before the last final. What's the song in your catalog that you feel like was a record that, so each side, so a record that you felt like was like a beat you may have made that you were like, it's whatever, and it ended up going, and then a song that you felt like was that beat but didn't go the way you thought it was gonna go?
Nah, this is a good ass question. I think a beat that I loved was this If You Know Then You Know Eam song.
Mm-hmm.
Just cause like I made that beat like 2 years before he even recorded on it, and like I loved that beat, and like I was just sending that beat to my homies like all the time, and just like anytime I would, you know, like if I got an artist number, like I would tap in with someone new, that would be like one of the first 10, 20 beats every time, no matter who it was.
Yeah.
Just because I just knew it was crazy, and then it finally came out. That's like definitely a beat that I knew was a go.
Yeah.
Something that I didn't like, I'd say,
And not even just a song, but the beat itself. Like,
The
we were like,
beat
the beat was
itself.
whatever, but it still landed.
honestly, bro, my biggest song is, like, my biggest song on Spotify is a song called, I think it's called, like, Me Gustas Natural. It's a song with Eladio Carrion. And it has, like, I don't know, like 300 million streams at this point on Spotify. And
Sheesh.
I remember making that melody and, like, literally just wanting to delete it. And I made it with my homie, and he was just like, yo, like, this is cool. Like, I think this could actually, like, be something. And, like, I'd never really liked it at all. And I sent it to my boy Hyde, who, like, works with Eladio. And I remember when I sent him it, I was just like, yo, like, I don't really think this is, and I don't do this anymore, but, like,
Yeah.
I gave him a disclaimer, like, yo, I don't really think this is that good, whatever. Like, I don't really fuck with this. And it turned into my biggest song, like, ever.
Yo.
So, yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That's how it goes so much.
Oh my
Every
goodness.
time.
Every time.
Every time. Yeah.
So if producers out there want to collaborate with you, work with you, what is the best way or the best chance they have of getting in touch with you or getting your attention?
I think it's two different. So, like, getting in
It's using that comment software that you said.
the what?
Comment
That
software.
comment software.
I think it's two different. Like, getting in touch is easy. Like, it's just DMs, and, like,
Yeah.
I'm on my phone all day. Like, I see all the DMs, and, like, I be still listening to shit, and, like, I listen to shit all the time. So I don't really think it's, it's easy to, like, get in touch, but to, like, actually get someone's attention is a different story.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, it's just, like, there's a bunch of different ways. I think, working with an artist that's fire.
Yeah.
I think I'd be thinking about when I heard this story of how Murda Beats found Felix, who's the producer. They worked on Butterfly Effect together.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, like, Felix was just working with a fire artist out of Toronto, and Murda just found it on SoundCloud, and, like, that's
cool.
how it happened. And I feel like that's definitely a fire way to, like, get bigger producers to fuck with you, is, like, just to work with smaller artists that are just fire. And, like, if someone's gonna hop on your beats, it doesn't have to be the greatest song in the world.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out and your shit is good, you might as well get someone on it and get them to post the song, because people are gonna hear the beat.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I'd say in terms of, like, getting, my attention, other producers' attention, is definitely, like, work with artists that are just small and just fire, and, like, and then I think just Instagram and just using all the same shit that everyone else does.
Are you
But just
scouring like that through, like,
For sure.
Yeah. Fire.
I feel like you have to, because, like, that's, like, the only way to stay in tune with, like, what's new. And, like, I probably have heard every loop maker ever. Like, this is basically all I just be on Instagram all the time, just scrolling, listening to shit, like, going through Dropbox folders. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of have to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, last question. To wrap, ask every guest this. Something you know now for where you're at in your career and how far you've come that you would tell your younger self. Something you know now that you would tell your younger self in the journey. What would that be?
I love this question because I ask this question to producers all the time.
Don't get that excited about the Grammys.
But yeah, I fell asleep during I fell asleep during the ceremony. It's really not that lit. But something I would tell my younger self, honestly, bro, I would tell my younger self to not do so many, like, producer cook-up sessions. And I feel like when I think about, what I've spent my time on that's been the most valuable, like, cooking up with other producers, just, like, going to the studio just to make beats has been, like, almost at the bottom of the list. And, like,
It's always
that's
that
not
way.
even like I enjoy it just like anyone else, but it's like what we were talking about earlier, like, making beats is not really being productive. And, like, there's so many other ways that you can, and there's so many other things that you can be doing that's more valuable. And, like, I think when I first started coming to LA, I was just doing sessions to anyone that would, like, cook up, and, like, I was just making hella beats, and I don't think a single one of them came out. Like, it's just so much wasted time just doing sessions just for the fuck of it, and like we all enjoy being in the studio and like feeling cool and shit. But like, yeah, if I were to tell my younger self something, it'd just be like, just focus on your own shit, bro.
That's good advice.
That's great advice, bro.
Yeah.
We thank you for coming on the pod, my guy. For real, genuine.
I
Can't wait to run back for real. And congratulations on all the success, bro. We really rooting for you.
Good looks. Appreciate y'all.